Hey, welcome to AI for Stock. Looks like you've really been digging into the world of passive income, huh?
Definitely. Always looking for ways to make that money work harder.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
And seems like you've been hitting the research pretty hard.
well, there's so much information out there.
So much, right? I mean, just in this stack of stuff you said, I see notes on like over 100 ideas.
It can get overwhelming. Yeah, I've been going through podcasts, articles, all sorts of stuff.
That's why we're here, right? We're going to help you break it down.
Kind of like a filter. Help pull out the stuff that's most relevant.
Exactly. So let's jump in. One thing you probably noticed right away is not all passive income is created equal.
Right. Like I saw a lot about high yield savings accounts, but
But with the way things are right now, economically, that doesn't really cut it.
yeah, you're not even keeping up with inflation most of the time.
And it's not just about that. The whole passive income landscape is changing so fast.
Like so fast. It's crazy how things are different even from just a few years ago.
Remember when DVD rentals were a passive income idea? Shows how much things shift.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You'd be out of business pretty quick trying that now.
And even something like traditional rental properties, they're getting squeezed.
Oh, yeah. All those new approaches, the sharing economy, it's a whole different ballgame.
Then you've got things like, what was it? Domain flipping?
Right. That one kept popping up.
Sounds kind of cool, but
Risky. I feel like you gotta be really in the know, have the right skills.
not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Or,
Okay, but let's get to what you did find promising.
yeah, let's get to the good stuff. I narrowed it down to a top 10 list.
Excellent. A classic top 10 countdown. Love it. So it's kicking things off at number 10.
This one might surprise you. Vending machines.
Vending machines. Really? I thought
Yeah.
those were like a relic of the past.
Nope, they're making a comeback, but with a modern twist, you know?
I'm intrigued. What kind of twist are we talking about?
Well, it's not just sugary drinks and chips anymore. Think healthier snacks, maybe even like electronics or small gadgets, things like that.
So it's all about finding the right niche. Right.
And the right location, high traffic areas where people actually want what you're offering.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on to number 9 on our list. We have crowd-funded real estate.
This one's interesting because it lets you get into property without the landlord headaches.
Yeah, I saw that in your notes. You're basically pooling your money with other investors.
Exactly. So you own a piece of the property, but you don't have to deal with tenants or repairs or anything like that.
But there are like platforms and fees and stuff to figure out, right?
Yeah, you got to do your research. Fundrise and Real Time Mogul are a couple of the big names.
So plenty to learn before you jump in, but definitely an interesting concept. All right, number 8 on our list. This one's for the dreamers out there, creating an app.
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't thought about building the next big thing?
But it's a tough market, right? I mean, there are apps for everything these days.
It's super competitive. You really need a unique idea, something that solves a real problem that people are willing to pay for.
And even then, there's all the development and marketing to figure out.
It's a lot of upfront work, definitely not as passive as some of the other options on the list.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to number 7, YouTube. We all watch videos, but how do you turn that into passive income?
It's all about building a loyal audience and creating high-quality content that people actually want to watch.
Easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
What are some keys to standing out in that crowded YouTube world?
Consistency is huge. You got to be uploading regularly, engaging with your viewers, and making sure your videos are optimized for search.
So it's like a mini business, basically.
Exactly. You can't just post random stuff and hope for the best.
All right, number 6 on our list, print on demand. This one caught my eye.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. You design something once, and then theoretically, the sales just keep coming in.
You create designs for t-shirts, mugs, that kind of stuff, right?
All sorts of things. And you list them on platforms like Redbubble or Teespring.
And they handle all the printing and shipping and everything.
Exactly. Your job is to come up with designs that people actually want to buy.
Sounds pretty appealing. Less overhead, more focus on the creative side. Okay, moving on to number 5, digital products.
This one feels like it has endless possibilities. Ebooks, courses, templates, you name it.
And the great thing is, you create it once, and it can potentially sell forever.
Right. But again, you need to make sure you're creating something people actually want and need.
That's a good point. What are some of the platforms where people sell digital products?
There are tons. Udemy, Teachable, Gumroad. Each platform has its own pros and cons.
So it's worth doing your research to find the right fit. All right, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We've still got 5 more to go.
That's right. We'll dive into the top 5 in the next part of our deep dive. See you soon.
Welcome back to our deep dive, ready to keep exploring these passive income ideas.
Definitely. We left off with a pretty diverse mix. So I'm curious what's next.
All right, coming in at number 4, we've got a classic. Dividend stocks.
Dividend stocks, huh? I've heard about those, but not sure I totally get them.
Well, it's basically you invest in companies that pay out a portion of their profits to their shareholders.
So you're getting paid just for owning the stock.
Exactly. Think of it like a bonus every quarter or every year, depending on the company.
Sounds nice, but I imagine picking the right stocks is key.
For sure. You want to look for companies with a solid track record of paying dividends consistently.
So you want to see a history of those payouts.
Yep. Ideally, ones that are increasing over time. You want stability, but also growth potential.
Makes sense.
Ah.
And like any investment, I'm guessing diversification is important too.
Absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your risk across different industries, the usual smart investing stuff.
Okay. On to number 3, real estate investment trusts, or REITs. Those came up earlier, right?
They did. REITs are a way to get into real estate without the hassle of actually being a landlord.
Right. It's like owning a piece of a whole bunch of properties.
Exactly. You're buying shares of companies that own those properties, things like shopping malls or apartment buildings.
And they're the ones dealing with all the day-to-day stuff.
Exactly. Plus, REITs are legally required to distribute a big chunk of their income to shareholders as dividends.
So you're getting a cut of the rental income, essentially.
That's right. And since REITs are traded on the stock market, they're easier to buy and sell compared to actual property.
Interesting. Okay, number 2 on our list. This one seems to be everywhere these days. Affiliate marketing.
It's definitely gotten popular. It's basically you recommend products or services to your audience and earn a commission on the sales.
So if you've got a platform like a website or a social media following, you can leverage that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. Your audience gets introduced to cool stuff, and you earn a little something if they buy it.
But it can't just be any random stuff, right?
No, authenticity is key here. You got to actually believe in the products you're recommending, and they should be relevant to your audience.
Makes sense. It's about building trust, not just pushing products on people.
Right. Focus on helping your audience, and the commissions will follow. And don't be afraid to try different platforms. There's Amazon Associates, ShareSale, a bunch of others.
So some experimentation is involved. Okay, drum roll, please. Number 1 on our list.
This one has really taken off, creating online courses.
Yeah, I can see why. If you've got expertise in something, it's a great way to share it and potentially make good money.
Exactly. Platforms like Udemy and Teachable make it pretty easy to get started, too.
But I imagine creating a successful course takes work.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about throwing some slides together. You got to pick a topic you're passionate about, create high-quality content, and then figure out how to market it.
Right. You got to get those students enrolled.
There are a lot of strategies. Social media, email marketing, even partnering with other businesses or influencers.
So a mix of creativity and some good old-fashioned hustle.
Pretty much. All right, we've covered a lot with these top 5, but there's actually one more idea we need to discuss.
Ooh. And you said it was a bit different.
Yeah, this one's a bit unique. We'll dive into that in the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back. Ready for the final piece of our passive income puzzle.
Definitely. And this one's, it takes a slightly different angle.
You mentioned it was unique. What exactly are we talking about?
Exploring passive income through the lens of Islamic finance.
Okay, that is interesting. I'll be honest, I'm not super familiar with Islamic finance principles.
It's a fascinating area, really. A lot of it revolves around the prohibition of earning interest.
So like no interest-bearing savings accounts or traditional loans, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Instead, there's a big focus on profit-sharing partnerships and investments in things that are, tangible assets.
So it's more about like a collaborative approach, investing in things that have real-world value.
Right. It's about ethical wealth building. And there are actually several ways this can tie into passive income.
Oh, okay. So how does that work? What are some examples?
Well, there are things called sukuk bonds, which are kind of like Islamic bonds, but
Sukuk bonds. Hadn't heard of those before.
they represent ownership in an underlying asset. So think real estate, infrastructure projects, that kind of thing.
So instead of earning interest, you're sharing in the profits generated by the asset.
Precisely. It's about participating in the success of the actual project. Then there's also the concept of mudarba partnerships.
Mudarba partnerships. Sounds kind of complex.
Not really. It's basically one party provides the capital, the other manages the investment, and they split the profits based on a pre-agreed ratio.
So again, that collaborative approach. sharing resources and expertise.
Exactly. Islamic finance, it's a whole different way of thinking about wealth creation and definitely opens up some unique passive income avenues.
Wow, that's really fascinating. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's amazing how many different approaches there are to passive income.
Right. From vending machines to online courses to real estate, ethical investing, it's all out there.
It really shows you there's no one right answer. It's all about finding what aligns with your skills, your interests, and even your values, like we were just talking about.
Absolutely. And honestly, passive income, it's about more than just the money. It's about creating more freedom, more flexibility in your life.
Giving you the time and resources to do what you're passionate about, spend time with family, maybe even give back to your community.
Exactly. It's about designing a life you love, where work doesn't feel like a chore. So keep exploring, keep learning, and you'll find what works best for you.
Great advice. And who knows, maybe one of these ideas will spark something totally new and unexpected. That's what these deep dives are all about. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.